I'll show you. Yeah, so the chart on the screen is that US 500, right? It's the same as the Owanda, but it's funny, man. I put these in, these zones in whatever, last week or the week before, just as some areas of interest, right? And I was curious to see it come down and bounce there. I mean, at the end of the day, we held the weekly demand on this. Same with SPY. We also held, this daily demand. So, the fact that support is holding down here, we do need to get above 44.15 though. I think that's if we don't do that soon. And the other thing is what's going on with rates. So, I mean, that's you see that the banks are downgraded.
Yeah, I saw that post.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. I'm basically just watching these zones. I mean, today was pretty straightforward. Had a little bit of a I mean, there's other zones down here, but as far as the hourly goes, it gave a false signal. But again, intraday with the way Gamma was situated, it's not surprising to see it bounce. And I know you said you had a 15-minute zone up here, right?
Yeah, on SPX. I don't know. It's from way back.
It's right here. I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, from way back? Oh,
no,
well,
no.
even
yeah, you're right. From that left one over there. Yeah.
Yeah, from even here, it's shows up.
Yeah, it's even from that like reverse head and shoulder to left head to left shoulder. You can see it too.
Yeah, right. It was the support over here. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where it's from.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It kind of made sense. We are gonna see a little bit of a pullback.
But I played that they were going to come back.
I played
that we're going to come back and test it. And so, like when we got up, I was like, "All right, we're going to roll back. I want to buy some puts." And then,
hey guys,
we never did. Hey, what's up? So
So I watched the charts today as much as I could, but I was out on the road most of the day. What I see from looking at the charts from this afternoon is maybe we're going to go into a small reversal. Maybe not back to where we were a few weeks ago, but it looks like that we're trying to push up again. Do you guys see the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, we're going over some of it right now, but yeah, we'll finish what you're saying, Phil, and then we'll go into what we're looking for. But I know you were saying you saw a dip down. Did you end up buying puts on the way down? I can't remember.
I did. I was up for the day, and then when we hit that support or the demand, I started freaking getting out of them, and then they started going against me, and then so I doubled down on some more, and that's where I got smoked in the morning. But I came back and got it all back when I did the calls. But it was kind of like it was a stupid move on me. I didn't believe that we're going to push that high. I didn't think we had that much in this because Nvidia was trying to pull back and all that stuff, and then we just freaking squeezed. But I was watching the Gamma on that Gamma one, the GEX spot.
Yeah.
And it was showing like middle of the day because that's when Danny started showing like a lot of volume going into the puts at the 4350s.
Yeah.
And it kind of like it was a big bear trap because it showed if we broke 4369, which you and I were talking about.
Yep. Yeah.
That we would go down more. And so that's when I was like, all right, we'll come back and retest it again. And we never did. It just took off.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, and it looked like we were going to head down some more, but what happened here too. This was right at This was 11 o'clock, so noon. I think those so at 11:30. So at 11:30 we had the 3-month bill auction and the 6-month bill auction, right? And those closed as this hour closed. And I think I even put a post in the chat saying that the bond market's closed. Or not the bond markets, the auctions, the treasury auctions or whatever, right? Closed, and we could expect a bounce. And that ended up being the bottom. I mean, it had already bottomed before that, but I think a lot of that has to do with it. Because at the end of the day, right, we pushed up, like at this 10-year here, this thing's driving a lot of what we're doing. But if you look at like the hourly, let's see, where did we stop? I know that we trickled up. Where is it? So 12, yeah, so that's 1 a.m. Where's the 1 p.m.? Jesus Christ.
And that's why
10, 11. So at the end of 11 o'clock, right? This candle here, that was that like pullback, and then it kind of fizzled out, even though it did push up a little bit. it never, well, it popped up after, you know, as it opened up again, because it has a break. Looks like it has a break from, so it closes with futures, but it opens back up at fucking 8. That's interesting.
Yeah. So like, 'cause I mean, the secondary, I always play in the secondary bond market. I don't know about the one between the Feds and the banks. But long
I'm just
story
saying,
short,
yeah, but this is, I mean, when the 10-year is pushing up like this, since it broke over the new highs, that was fucking us up, you know.
oh
Like,
yeah,
look, like this is, you know, this is driving, but most of the bonds look like this, just on a different scale.
well yeah,
I don't
because
think it matters.
that's
You
why the
know,
banks got. I think that's why the banks got downgraded, because they're holding they're holding a lot of 10-year bonds at a lower yield, and so what's going on is now when they go back and try to get more bonds, they're not making as much as the Fed interest Fed rate is, but they're not what the Fed rate is, so they're below that. That's my
yeah,
understanding of it. So, yeah, they're
yeah,
holding
yeah.
all. Yeah, that's my understanding of it. Is so when they go and like try to capitalize on it, it's gonna cost them more money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if
And
they
so,
can, you know,
yeah,
and they're expecting, I mean, they're selling it off too, expecting, you know, basically protecting themselves from what's going to come out of Jackson Hole this week.
yeah, and so
I
that's why they
mean,
downgraded, because their yields just took a fucking shit
yeah.
for anything in the future. You know what I mean? Anything they're holding now is like, fuck, we owe more money, or it costs more money now.
Yeah, you might, well, right. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so it
Can
does,
either
the bond market does close between 5 and 8 Eastern. So that's interesting.
can either one of y'all give me an idea of what happens at Jackson Hole? Just a brief, short idea.
I mean, it's all bank talk, but they'll go over like the I don't know if they touch on the world or not, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know specifically. I mean, if you know, Phil, go ahead.
It's a symposium. They just all get together and freaking
Right.
everybody gets together and they just freaking go behind closed doors and look at all the data and talk about what's going to go on, and then they'll give like a freaking they'll just it's all about what information they give out. It's not like what they're really is going on, but it's what information is going to be delivered at Jackson Hole. And so it's
Okay.
just it's going to be the same rhetoric, because Fed or Powell talks on Wednesday at 3 Eastern, I think it is.
So
3
would it
or
be a good idea for me to stay out of the market this week? I mean, that's a
I mean,
facetious. It's my choice. It's just me being facetious. Today would have been a good day if I were sitting in front of the computer. I just wasn't. I had so many errands to run. You know.
yeah, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, is it a good? I mean, there's volatility, so it definitely is a good. I mean, here's the thing, right? It's not. I mean, you have Jackson Hole, but you also have Nvidia earnings. We had a bunch of other earnings. You know, like we still
retail
have more
earnings.
coming
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I mean, there's still a bunch of retail. I mean, that, you know, there's a lot going on this week to where, you know, it's fun to play, but it also could be a shit show. I mean, so like tomorrow we have Best Buy in the morning, right? Macy's, that'll be, you know, decent to watch. Williams Sonoma. And then you know, I mean, there's more than that too, but after hours, there's Lowe's, BJ's, Dick's. I don't know when Lazy Boy is, but that'll be interesting. And then of course, Wednesday morning, you know, there's Nvidia. There's Snow, you know, that's another one. Oh wait, there's another Williams Sonoma. So I don't know which day is Williams Sonoma. I'm looking at this calendar. I don't know why he's got it in two days, but anyways, you know, and then afterwards there's Peloton, Advanced Auto Parts, that can be really good. Kohl's, that's all Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday after hours. And then like Thursday morning is Affirm and Nordstrom are two that I'm watching. Ulta, you know, I mean, there may not, I mean, I'm not taking plays on them yet, but there's potential for run up and follow through, you know. So it'll be interesting. I mean, look, I'm expecting more of a bounce up out of this, because at the end of the day, we closed. This is what we were talking about in the very beginning. I mean, from a technical side, we came down, right? This is the same thing as that Awanda chart. It's just a lot cleaner without everything on it. But I mean, all we did is come down, you know, and held this weekly demand. I mean, the futures dipped under it. But again, they're not really the prime, you know, because of the way the time value on them fucking sell off. I mean, if you look at SPY, right? SPY is the same thing as that chart we were just looking at. You know, we had weekly demand
I charted
here,
out that
and we
US
came down.
500.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's going to be the
Yeah.
similar, you know, it's the same thing as the Owanda. It's just the price does stay a little bit closer throughout the day. But my point though is that, you know, look what we did. We came down right on SPY. This is a perfect example. you know, these EMs are not correct on this, but you know, whatever with that. But you know, we came down, we tested this weekly demand, we closed inside of it, right? But we, you know, it's not like we closed underneath. It's not bearish at all. And then we actually opened up right on top of it, you know, just over top. So I mean, the open for today was 437.55. So I mean, we opened 10 cents higher than the actual top of the zone. So I mean, you know, the fact that we dipped inside, it's really not that big of a surprise, I guess. It's interesting looking at this chart, like how it responded, because this was this hourly demand was something that stood out. So it's almost like, you know, this dip was overextended. You know, we see that a lot with these zones, and that's something I've been paying attention to, is that, you know, even though we got a break below, obviously on Friday, it was such a drastic move, and then it got bought right back up, right? To where it's almost, we see this a lot where these zones will, they'll continue to be valid because this move happened like so fast. You know what I mean? I mean, it didn't happen fast, but it, in the grand scheme of things, like this was almost like a fluke, right? Just because the yields were shooting up, the bonds were dropping. So, you know, I see that. I don't know. Anyways, you know, I didn't look at this chart too much today, but doesn't really matter. You know, at the end of the day, we held weekly demand. So why wouldn't we bounce here? You know, now where do we go to is the question. I do have this is a better chart to look at here. This US 500, but again, it's same price action, right? This just has all the price action in it compared to SPY. But you know, we had this daily demand here that we held and smashed through on Thursday. You know, we came back up and tested that, right? So now, you know, is that just a retest of that? Or are we going to chop around inside of this weekly demand zone? You know, again, like if you look at SPY, we're outside of it. So, but no matter what, like this shows me we held, you know, and of course my go-to is this chart, right? Which is Awanda. So, I mean, that's why look at these zones. The zones have been perfect. They've been matching the gamma so fucking close. It's crazy. Now, granted, this is a 10-point zone here between these two dotted white lines. But I mean, you know, we pushed up the hourly, you know, we couldn't quite get a close inside. We're seeing a little bit of a sell-off, but then again, like this is well within, you know, if we're gonna have a clean move up, you know, if this holds overnight and we can get a move up inside the zone to open up tomorrow, like that would be promising, you know. Now, obviously, we'd still, you know, it almost is setting up like another head and shoulders pattern, kind of like what this Thursday, Friday effect did. You know, I wish I had traded Friday more, but it just wasn't the, you know, I had other shit going on. But
in comparison to Friday, though, we have higher lows and higher highs. So I mean, I'm going to keep an eye out, and
I think we push up. Yeah, I'm not saying it's like,
yeah,
you know, I mean, here's the thing with Friday. I mean, this was the head and shoulders setup, right? This is that push higher. But
that's
I mean,
that
this
inverse
is
head and shoulders, right?
yeah, right. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, inverse head and shoulders. But you get the pat. I mean, it's the pattern that's there, and you know, we're almost setting up like to get a bigger one, right? So I mean, if you
Right.
zoom out and look on a higher time frame, you know, you could see a push up. If we can get inside the zone, get a move up, and then a pull back to it again, and hold that 4,400 on SPX, like that would be clutch. I mean, no matter what, I want to see this 9 EMA on the daily broke. Like I'd like to see a daily close back above it. If you look at the daily, you know, we haven't let's see, did we get a daily? Yeah, we haven't gotten a daily close above since we rolled over. So even though, you know, we opened technically above it right here, that's not this, you know, what we're looking for, daily closes above this 9 EMA, and we just haven't gotten it yet. So it's starting to flatten out. That could be a good sign, you know.
Is that red one the 50-day EMA?
It's orange, but yeah, it's 50. Yep.
And then
It probably
the
looks
200
red, but it's
yeah. I'm sorry, the orange one. Sorry. So the one below that
It's
is
all
that
right.
the 200? The purple one?
The red one is the 100, and then the purple one's actually that 113. So 113 EMA that I got from the guy that's on those morning spaces, Mikey.
Yeah.
Oh,
he, you know, he
loves
really,
those.
what's that?
He loves the 113.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I mean, at the end of the day, like I don't trade exactly the same as him, but you know, I do, like he does know his shit. He has been trading for a while. So like when he pointed it out, you know, to me, it's a lot like the 377, right? Like the 377, is something that Booza fucking pointed out, murderer that he is. But, I mean, at the time, before anybody knew how fucking psycho he was, he pointed it out. And on the 1 minute, or on the smaller time frames, that, that works really well. And especially on the daily. So like, and I know, like, Phil, I think you use it, on multiple
Daily.
time frames.
No, just daily.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I have it pinned to the daily.
Yeah.
It's a ways away right now, though.
Because I'm looking for a golden cross. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing they're starting to converge now, the 50s and the 200s. That's what I was looking at last night when I was doing some techno analysis. I was watching a lot of that stuff and seeing like, hey, when we get these getting pretty close, we're about to freaking. I agree, we're gonna bounce up here, but it's still converging. We're not like definitely in a full on rocket bull market that we were earlier. So you're starting to see those. But a lot of bottom line, you're starting to see all those moving averages converge to a downward pattern.
I mean, we are, but we're not there yet, though, because
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, even the 50-day, like, it's flattening out. It's definitely a concern. That's why, like, the first, as far as in my opinion, like the SMAs and EMAs, like, I want to see that 9 EMA, I want to see that get broken, right? Get a daily close above it. And then definitely the 50-day, because and I mean, look, the 200-day is this pink one, right? This upper pink one.
Okay,
this
there
one's
it is.
not. This isn't supposed to be pink, but this is the 377 on a daily.
Yeah.
And you can see how, like, it held. It held here for the most part, right? Obviously, we did get technically a close above, but I mean, it was kind of once we started breaking above that consistently, we had that massive move up from there. I mean, there, and you could say, hey, we bounced off the 50. You could say a lot of things. So I mean, but yeah. Anyways, my point being, though, that 200-day. I mean, that fucker's sitting right down there at 41.50. I mean, it won't stay there per se, but it, like, that is my thing. Is I wanted to see a weekly close really underneath this 43.51.
Yeah,
exactly. We didn't get that, now maybe we get it this week. I mean, look, if Nvidia fucking, I have a little, as bullish as I am on Nvidia, I'm not even, it's not even like logically bullish. It's just, it's like just a gut feeling that, like, look, this thing's going to continue to pound forward. But the reality is, like, what if they come out and they say, hey, we're doing a split, and and it sells off like a lot of things have, right? Because I don't know if we're not truly into that, like, bull market scenario again, where, like, hey, they're splitting, let's like triple the fucking the net worth.
Do you mind? Yeah, you're absolutely right. There could be some negative forward guidance.
That would sell us off,
Yes.
Yeah,
do you mind bringing up NVIDIA on the daily chart?
Yeah, I have.
Because last night, is that the daily? Not hourly.
Yeah.
So last night I was looking at it and it looked like we were forming the right shoulder, but that was before today's freaking.
That got blown out. Yep.
Yeah. Got blown out. Yeah.
That got blown out. I mean, and again, the thing is, tomorrow, I mean, I expect this thing. I'm watching this expected move, the 482.25. We still have room to go here, but even on a daily, dude, we have daily supply here. We closed right up inside of it nicely. I mean, we didn't close above it, but considering where we started, considering we started way the fuck down here, like, we opened up here, but you know what I mean? It's
just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, absolutely smoked it, man. I was late getting into it and still made money. And dude, I was amazed, bro. Those 500 calls, right, that I got, what was it, like a week ago, or I might have even gotten a Friday before. I forget exactly when, but they are loving it. They're green as can be now. I mean, part of that's IV, but I was surprised, dude, because they came down quite a bit, right? But I was going to hold them for earnings, and now they're up. So I mean, as long as we keep pushing up, I'll start locking some of that in. We'll just go. I'll play it like normal, but I honestly did not expect the performance out of it today. But yeah, I mean, looking at NVIDIA, I definitely get what you're saying. I mean, I think it was setting up for that. It just got blown out the water. I mean, we closed inside the daily supply. So what we want to see today, maybe tomorrow, if we do get a little bit of a dip overnight or near open, I'd like to see 267 hold, potentially down to 264.90 as the bottom of this white zone, the legacy zone. So a dip back down into that, and then a push higher. And I mean, I don't know if we gap up tomorrow, or if we're bullish on the indices, I could see this thing gapping up, like 275, 276 and opening again. It's just that, it's just that bullish. I mean, you see the fucking calls that were coming through?
Yeah, bro. I stayed away.
475.
Oh my God.
The premium
mean,
on that thing is fucking ridiculous.
Dude, it just doesn't stop. Yeah. I mean, if you go out this week is crazy, right? But if you go out a couple weeks, like some of the what am I trying to say? Some of the flow, right, was pointing towards, dude, it's like, I feel like it's all NVIDIA. So like here we did have some puts come through, but I mean 525s for 915, right? If you look at the 915s, the hold on, I had them up there a little bit ago. Hold on. I know you guys can't see the screen, but hold on. The 915s, which is the next monthly, right? The implied volatility is only around 69, 70%. So I mean, it's not terrible, right? They're up 100% today. So even the monthly, the September monthlies, they 2x today. They're up 100%, 107% for the 490s. So what were these? These were the 525s. So the 525s, they're up 125%, 125.52% today. 23,000 contracts traded. The 500s had 32,000 contracts traded. This is for September. You know what I mean? So like, I think if you have the capital going out, I mean, let's say the 500s, they're valued at like 2,300 right now. If you go to August 25th, right, the 500s are 1450 basically. So, and they only went up 152%. So I mean, again,
I'm really looking to sell. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
I'm looking to end up selling some bear call credit spreads.
I mean, if you could get up, I don't even have, I mean, dude, but that's like nothing, right? I was seeing, I know they put out, there's a lot of the 525s that hit, but let's see.
That and
I
naked
should search
puts.
with a bot, but what's that?
That and naked puts on them, like selling like, with it below the EM when naked puts on those. Even those IVs are, I know they got crushed today, but still, man, selling those like on these bull days is so freaking naked puts. It's like it's free money, dude. It's like, okay, thank you. You know what I mean? It's like, thank you.
100%. I mean, well, think about it, right? So if we, you have expected move, plus you have, what is this? This is that 100-day. So let's say you sold the 350s. I don't even have 350s up here. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough selling puts, man, because even if you sell the 380s, I don't even have those on my screen. I have to go out further. Hold on. Hold on a second. So yeah, the 350s, the puts right now for September 1st, not even this week, but September 1st are 90 cents. So I mean, I may even grab, so let's say the 380s. All right. The 380s for this Friday right now are $1.21. So the expected move is 380, 372. So if they report bad, I could totally see 380 hitting. So like, I'm probably just gonna grab some naked puts, just buy them though, dude, because like, just for earnings, right? I know I'm talking earnings. This is different than selling them.
It's a good hedge if you have calls,
right? Which I do. I mean, they're calls. Dude. I mean, the 400s are at 285 right now. That's what they closed at on the ask side. So 285. But let's say we do push up some more, and head up even just towards like 480. I mean, those are going to drop down. I would bet they'll be 250, if not $2, probably $2 realistically, because the 390s are $1.86. So I mean, there's definitely, like, I feel like the hedge is worth it, the risk to reward there. I mean, it's a gamble, right? But I could see, I mean, I don't see him selling off below. I think you're right, Phil, to go back kind of what you're talking about. There's potential they could fill the gap, right? There's obviously a massive gap here. There's another one right here, sitting right around 395 to 400, I think. or to 401. Basically, there is a gap here. And then obviously there's the gap that was created today. But I mean, on earnings, dude, I don't really see them selling off below like 370. Like I just don't, you know what I mean? Like I think it would have to be really bad. And I don't know. Just don't see them coming out and like putting themselves in that position, unless they do a split and it's interpreted bad. I mean, I don't know. Anything's possible.
They just did a split like 2 years ago. So I think what they were saying,
right.
like what Brendan and the smart guys are saying is
Like,
they're going to
wait till
freaking
1,000, right?
Yeah, they're going to freaking. It looks like they're going to start pulling in some capital by letting go of some shares.
Oh, right. Well, they have that. Yes. Yeah, they have that. Dude, do we know? See, that's the other thing. Do we know if any of that happened last week or the week before? Because I mean, part of that sell-off, like this was massive, right? But this should have been out by now. Because remember, they had that special form that they could sell shares. It's what a bunch of companies have done now, where they can sell shares. They can basically have a share offering, but they can do it in pieces as they see fit over the next like 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, and I think that's what they can do is do another share offering just to freaking, because right now they could bring in like billions of capital and then freaking just basically buy freaking 10-year bonds and freaking be making 4% on it, dude, making billions of dollars a month, a year.
I know, but I don't see them doing it enough to really smashing the stock price down, below like, I mean, could it come back down to 400? Absolutely. Fill the small gap or something. This seems like the new support though. Like this to me just feels like, this weekly demand here at 389 to 387.70. It's a tiny zone, but but I mean, it stands out like a sore thumb right here. We even retested it here before we took off on the week after it was created. It's like that's solidified as a and look at where the weekly EM is, right? Just slightly underneath it at 383. So
I don't know. I've had a lot of success just selling freaking covered puts.
Well, well, that's okay. That's my point, right? I think buying puts as a hedge is something that I'll probably do now that I'm seeing how cheap they are. But definitely, dude, like I would sell, right? I have no problem selling puts down here because I would buy it. Like that's kind of what I'm getting at is like this seems like the solid support, maybe a little lower, like even 370, like maybe let the earnings come down and then sell them even a little bit. I don't know. I don't see this. I really don't see like 330 breaking the old prior highs. Or what is that? 346 there. The weekly the weekly zone is this, right? Not unless like the market crashes, in which case, look, you buy them, maybe you sell them and take a slight loss. I mean, you got to take that risk when you're selling. If you're selling cash covered puts. So in my opinion, like it's just I don't think we're gonna see any massive gap down. I wouldn't be selling like the 425s, or even you could sell like the 430s short term. And then if we filled that gap, we'd probably get a bounce off of it. And you could at least
I was selling a lot of that gap. I was selling the 385s. I sold the 400s. I think even threw 275 in there. Like it's just like loose change, $3 here, $5 here, $4 here. And it's just like it was like 2-3 weeks out too. And it just freaking honestly, I just forget about it and I go back. It's like, oh, I guess I didn't buy NVIDIA. So,
yeah,
that's one of the things. Cause like I gotta take a break from like zero DTEs because it's like a freaking wormhole, bro. Like I get in a zero DT coma where I just like that's all I think of. So like some days in the mornings, like I'm doing analysis on spreads, on other stuff, on like what I think. A lot of like I've been trying to get an XLE, sold some of those. A lot of like SCHD, the stuff that's just like strong is just basically like free money. And yeah, that's what I've been doing too. I'm looking more in energy too, energy stocks, selling a lot of cash covered on those. And then what I like about selling cash cover is I'll do like a 3-week out and I'll still collect the premiums from the money market account because your money it hasn't sold to close yet. So you're still like, it's kind of like, it's like a margin, but it's not. It's margin with cash. That's how you put it on there. And so you still get the credit of having the freaking interest every month. So I always make sure I do it like after the first or like the, that's what I've been doing lately. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
I see Danny posted this the form in here. It's the same. They can basically, yeah, no, dude. I mean, I think, yeah, why not, right? Like, you got to focus some money somewhere else, anyways. So can't put it all into. I mean, look, the mornings. There's been some good trades, but I mean, look, the reality is, and this is something we talk about all the time. The reality is the easiest money, especially with zero DTEs, was today. I mean, there's perfect example is the 4385 calls. Right.
Oh yeah,
I was in them early. They dipped. They bottomed out at $1.30. They fucking started to come back up. And once they broke $5, dude, it seemed like an easy buy. Now I didn't get into like 630 again. But I mean, they pushed up, they broke $20 on the high, like it was just now I carried them till about 18. I was doing some of this shit from my phone, didn't expect them to push up like they did, but I mean, they just kept going, bro. And it's like, you could have done that after, that was basically, that was like 2:00, right?
Yeah.
I think my entry or whatever was right around 2:00. It was in the afternoon when I was still dealing with some of that. I guess I didn't post anything. Yeah. I don't know. I was still out and about, and then I had that shit with the landlord call. But anyways, the thing is,
Yeah.
like from 2 to 4 Eastern, right?
Yeah. But it caught serious support at like $5 and 6. And I remember buying like 10 of them at like 6, maybe. I think it's 10 or 15. And so like I didn't get rid of them to like 9 something. So
Is that the
that was
85s or the 400s? Yeah, because the 4400s fucking flew too. I mean, it's like,
I think it might have been the 80s. It was either the 80s or 85s. I can't remember. And then, but after like I made like like three racks real quick or whatever the fuck it was. It pulled back hard, so I got rid of my runner, and then so then I just switched over to the 95s, and then the 95s paid out, and they pulled back, and I got smashed again, and I switched over to the 4300s at $3, and those things pushed to like $5. It was nice, but yeah, like I wasn't like I don't know, I just kind of just lower my premiums and lower my size.
I mean, dude, I think, yeah, I mean, I think waiting for the move. I mean, that's the one thing. Like, if I'm on a space, it's fine, right? Like, but I even thought about it this morning. I'm like, I almost don't want to go on the space Monday morning. Like, I'd rather just sit and wait. And I mean, and look, we had that bear trap at the end of the day. Like that thing, we were just talking about that on the hourly. Like it did. I mean, it looked like we were going to dip. Now it did hold on the smaller time frames, but that normally doesn't pan out. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, like normally when we get this break of an hourly, like that looks rough. The thing that did kind of pull us back in, if you look on the 5-minute, right? Like we came up, held, like this was the clue. I was looking at this afterwards, even though we got that bearish close, right? Right here, it was trying to push back up. It closed underneath. This thing pushed up and closed a 5-minute back up over that 43.66 spot 5 on Owanda. Like, I don't know. You can see, and again, I don't know what spot was at that moment, but immediately it continued to climb. So like, once that was seen, it was kind of like, all right, this thing's like that was a good sign. But again, like, even if you didn't get in until 2:00, like that's way the fuck up here. Those zero DTEs went crazy, dude. I mean, they went 3x from 6 to 18, and obviously they went a little bit higher. 4400s. Now, obviously buying a little bit sooner would have been smart. I just, wasn't I mean, by 12:00 I was already gone. So
my problem is I've been staring at price action so much that I forget to look at the zoom. I have the 15-minute on the SPX, but I forget to look at the zoom out and see what's going on. I'm just looking at premium price and like,
yeah,
where we at right now. And then so like we started kind of going sideways for a little bit, and then you could see it pulling back, and it was a good time to enter. But I was just like, I'm good. Like I'm just gonna freaking, play the further out DTs rather than the ones in the money.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I already collected a nice stack from it. Like I was really happy. Like I was freaking. I went with the 10 entries, and another one I did another 5, and like it was. They weren't just like one or twosies. It was it was some serious. It wasn't intense, but it was like I like to play when the delta's about to cross over. You get more of a bang. and it wasn't really doing that because the bang happened after that big move. It wasn't really happening. So that's why I was playing the 95. Oh, the 90s. I played the 90s when we pulled back below to like 89 cents. I said, I'm in here. I went in nice size on that one. And
Yeah,
it went up.
there was a
Yeah.
lot of like there were a lot, and this is something I was just gonna show too, like zooming out. If you zoom out to the 4-hour, like this makes a lot more sense, right? Like just waiting till noon to play. Like if you wait, or I'm sorry, this is 1 o'clock on the futures, right?
Yeah.
Eastern time. So if you wait till 1 p.m. on East, we would have seen like, hey, we just had that huge rally. These are 4-hour candles, so like that's a lot of price action, but you just, we dipped, but we came back up, pulled back up, and closed right here. I mean, this is, this is your main demand, and this is kind of your sub, 4-hour demand. It's like, fuck the hourly, even like the 4 hours closing up here. It's, risk to reward. It's worth trying to buy the dip, maybe try to buy it a little lower, but again, start entering and just average down on this. What is that? Like a 5-point move. If you, if you started it open, played it down to 76.
Yeah. The problem is because, I mean, I wasn't staring at the price action like the whole time. Like I would get in, look, and watch, but we were having some big like some big pullbacks. And the first morning you could see like till like 9 o'clock or till noon, the tick was just hanging out minus 800 or minus 1,000. It was just getting slammed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't bottom until noon,
Yeah. And so like it was all morning long, negative ticks. Like we didn't get any tick above like positive 800 today. It was just pure pure tech pushing us up.
No, but I'm telling you, dude, that and look, what flipped this reversal, I'm convinced of it, is that bond, or that the bond auction closing. It goes from 11, because I remember getting the tweet. I posted it. I believe it was right at like 12 or 12:30. I think the auction only lasts fucking, I know it doesn't last over, hold on, let me find it, because I know I just retweeted it, I should say, but it was from what's his face there. The guy that we the guy that we always retweet. So yeah, hold on, 10 o'clock. I just blasted past it. Or is it 12:54? Huh. Thought I posted it in here. Maybe I put it.
Jesus.
Did I put it in the other one? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I know I retweeted. I guess I just retweeted it. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. But I know when that bond auction closed, it was 11:30. Is when it opened, and then I thought it was 12 o'clock. Man, these are. But you know what? I don't know. Like so many things. And Nvidia was cranking too, so there was a lot going on today. But I feel like as soon as that auction was over, we saw this move back up, and that happened to be the bottom. So I mean, definitely a big day. So I mean, look, moving forward, and we'll leave it at this. I don't want to drag on forever. If you guys have anything else you want to touch on, we can do that. But I want to look at Apple too before we go. But at the end of the day, what I want to see, I want to see the zone hold here. Like just say 43.85 on SPX overnight. But I'd really like to see us open over 4,400. Like that to me would be that would give me like a lot of positive vibes, because it would look more like this inverse head and shoulders, is setting up for the larger picture, not just this, like we're actually going to see some of this play out. What else are you looking at, man, on SPX here? Anything that we should touch on before we move off of it?
I don't have anything else.
Yeah, are you good, Phil?
Right. I'm good, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And just for anybody that might have missed it, I think everybody was here. There's only like 4 of us here, 5 of us here. But anyways, that 9 EMA is what I'm watching, right? I want to see a daily close above that. So that's up around 44.20 to 25 SPX. It would get us up over this obvious supply right here on the 4-hour, and it would get us up over the weekly zone on Oanda. So, but again, keep an eye on SPY, because look, this almost looks cleaner, I mean, obviously the chart looks cleaner, but I mean, the fact that we close inside the zone, we gap up, to open pre-market this morning, or I'm sorry, this is the daily open, over that weekly zone. So, I mean, can't complain. But all right, let's look at Apple real quick, because I think this is important. This was the key as usual, I guess we could say. FN, they had earnings, right? Yeah. Shit's gonna rock out. Apple was a great, as far as the hourly demand goes. And I mean, this is why I keep it up, right? This was a perfect play, and I really like where it closed the day up inside of the zone here. But we had that hourly demand on Apple did hold, right? So even though it dipped under on the future on the Wanda chart, keeping an eye on Apple and just seeing this hold and seeing it hold again here. This was the 11 a.m. candle. So again, noon, right? And what happened? We had that big move up. Something else to watch. I don't know if you guys are interested in it or not, but I picked it up out of a space the other day, is the VIX, the Apple VIX. So it's VXAPL. And it's pretty close to that. It might be .VXAPL on Thinkorswim. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull it up here, because I thought I was looking at it. Let's see. Oh no, I think it is just, would it close that? Yeah, so it is just VXAPL on Thinkorswim. But this is the VIX for Apple, right? So intraday, I mean, it's probably going to follow price action. But I mean, if you see a move happen, I haven't watched this close enough, but I mean, on the 5-minute, if you can catch a move on this and see if it correlates, it's one more chart to watch. So I just, I haven't had it up on the screen by itself yet, but it is worth, I mean, you can see the sell-off happening here. So that started at 11:30. We could see this topping out by 11:50, right? Obviously, Apple probably looked the same because it did hold the demand, but compare that to like SPX, and it looks good. So Apple's holding this 175.35. That's key, in my opinion, right? I do think that if it holds the zone and we can see a move up, we'll see that push up to that next zone. And the expected move is sitting right up there too at 179. How does the VIX Apple work? So that it's the same thing as the VIX, right? It has to do, I believe it's the same calculation. Don't quote me on that, but it's the same type of calculation, just gotten from the Apple options market. So same thing as like the VIX, right? Is coming from the SPX options market. The only thing with Apple is you don't have 0 DTEs. So obviously it's not going to be quite as volatile. So yeah, keep eyes on that. I have the alert. Actually, I need to tag this again, but because it did go off already. But yeah, so looking for that alert pop up. I'm obviously going to watch it tomorrow at open. But if it does dip down for some reason, watch this hourly demand, because obviously it held. Like there's definitely buyers sitting here. And then we'll go from there, right? And it's an obvious area. It held back here too. So you could even just say, like, look at that support line. Right, like obviously the hourly closes held that. I would still get my signal off of this candle, right? The most recent bearish candle that's in control here. But you could say, that this level held too. We can take a look at FN. I don't, SMH is the other thing you guys to watch. This, I mean, all chips are gonna, dude, all the chips did really well. Really fucking well. So all right, so FN, that's where that closed. Let's see what it is after hours. So big push up, yeah. I mean, dude, something like this, I don't know anything about this company, but when you see all these expected moves come kind of clenching in like this, like it got above and held, like this probably was I don't want to say a no-brainer, but this was pretty damn, this is probably worth a bet, right? I mean, it moved from fucking what? From under 120 up to 138. So even if it holds that 135 level tomorrow at open, I see FN and I think of my my pistols. FN fucking, they're good. They make some good pistols. But yeah, Fabrinet, no, nothing about it.
I'm a Glock guy.
Yeah, I like Glocks. I have a couple Glocks. I have no issues with Glock, but I do like FNs. Glocks are fine. The only issue I've had with a couple Glocks are feeding hollow points, and it's really fucking annoying. Now, the Glocks that I have had no issues with them, and I've ran multiple different ammo and different style hollow points or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I have never had a thing jam on me one time.
No, I mean, dude, I've had a bunch of Glocks. I went through a whole like trading because in Florida, it's very easy to buy and sell guns, right?
Yeah.
Personal, and I got a group of people that we sell them legally. Like there's a bill of sale and shit for 99% of them, but still, like, you don't have to go through anybody, right? So it's just as long as you ask the person if they have any felonies and they say no and they have a valid Florida ID, like up to date Florida ID, your ass is covered. So it's pretty straightforward. But so most of the Glocks, and the ones I have 2 Glocks right now, like I have no issues with them, right? And they're solid guns, dude. Like it's hard to beat a Glock, but I will say the FNs are fucking, it's like the CZs, dude, are, that whole line or that whole manufacturer of CZs are just phenomenal. So anyways, but yeah, so this is something, I mean, this could be a big mover if it pops up. I don't know where. Let's look at the weekly again. Yeah, so it's at what did I say it was just at? I don't know why it's not showing the pre or after hours. So yeah, 138. So you are at all-time highs basically, right? The all-time high on the weekly, at least, on the intraday chart, you should say, is just over 140. So again, if this thing breaks 140, maybe I'll do this. Go back to the hourly, get it over 141. This thing will be a price discovery as far as I know, unless it goes further back, but we'll just keep moving. But what a nice move on fucking earnings, dude. There are earnings plays. I mean, let's look at, I got a couple minutes. Let's look at I got a couple minutes. I got nothing else to do. Everybody's finally fucking asleep. Like Lowe's, this is, well, not even Lowe's. What was the other one I was looking at?
Home Depot.
No, they already reported. I'm thinking earnings this week. It was I don't think
Splunk, Cloud, or Snowflake.
Yeah, it wasn't Snow. Snow is interesting, but I don't know. Like I'm not up to date enough on their earnings. It's interesting how they've gotten all the way back down and they're testing that zone from the bottom. Like that doesn't look bullish, but it is. I mean, who knows, right? I don't know. I probably wouldn't fuck with them too much. A lot of people love Snow, so no. I was looking at maybe it was Advanced Auto Parts. That's Advanced Auto Parts, right? Because they're normally great, except they had that massive sell-off, obviously. No, it wasn't it either. Damn it, dude. I was looking at it last week, so it wasn't even from this list because I just got this one. It may have been Williams Sonoma or right, JWN is Nordstrom's, which they report. No, it wasn't this chart either. I don't know. Anyways, not going to worry. This is one though here, right? Look at what the 200-day has done. The 200-day has folded sideways, right? There's a lot of basing going on here, so that longer term moving average can kind of flatten out. And now we've coming back and tested that. That very well could be a nice move for, forward, but that doesn't report until Thursday after hours. So we still have a little bit of time on that, but I mean, this one, it's $19. So like I have been playing a little bit of commons here and there. Or I haven't done much, but I may do something with earnings with this. I don't know. I'm going to look at the options market. This tends to have a decent options market, but let's see, what is it this week? Yeah, you have you got 147% implied volatility for this week. Next week drops it down to 92%. So
yeah, my buddy's been in Seattle. I talked to him, and he does basically just sells materials for new buildings, homes, and all that stuff, and like any kind of like if you're gonna build like an office building, he's the guy to talk to. He gets you everything for the whole office building, basically.
does he shop? I don't think, does Nordstrom do, isn't it just clothing?
Yeah, just clothing.
But does he stock the homes or is he or stock the
No,
offices?
no, he's just like
stages them and shit?
if you want to like what I'm getting to is their like personal like home remodels division is just fucking killing it right now. He's saying, he's like, because no one really has enough money to go. Well, nobody wants to go buy new homes. So what everyone's doing is they're just
Yeah,
remodeling the homes they have now.
dude, I've
And
gotten
so,
calls, bro. Right, my business has been out of business for going on like 3 years. Right, officially pulled from any public like pulled off Google and all that shit from
yeah, I know someone
since
called you.
before the fucking no, I get calls. Yeah, I've gotten. I mean, just this summer, dude. I think I've gotten 3 calls, and that's from people randomly, right? Not like clients that like had that we talked to more, had like more of a relationship with. This is just random people, right? And I'm like, I don't, I get these messages, and I'm like, I don't even fucking want to call you back, but I don't like, I don't even bother calling them back because, and it's like my voicemail doesn't say anything about the business anymore. You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah, so like,
interesting, dude.
well, yeah, and like because when we were bidding out that condo or getting some estimates, just like soft bids and stuff. My partner asked the guys like, "How's business for you?" He's like, "We're supposed to be slowing down, but we're not."
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, yeah, I mean, so we keep asking contractors, like, yeah, they all say the same thing. Like, yeah, we're supposed to be slowing down. It's just they're continually getting work. And then when I got the concrete put in the backyard, because I freaking organized all that, they were like 2 weeks out for any kind of concrete. And I was like, bro, it's not even a full yard. And like, well, our minimum's a yard. Well, this is a yard. And so it's like, all right. And I only live like 2 blocks away from like maybe like 3 city blocks away from the freaking from Granite Construction. And I was like,
That's
come on.
hilarious. They didn't even
Yeah, like
care. Yeah.
yeah, they didn't even care. And I like kind of call them every day, like, okay, I
Yeah.
think we get you in this day. I'm like, come on, dude. Like literally, like your guys would take longer to fill up the truck. I would have like this 2 wheelbarrows. We'd have it done quick.
It's interesting, dude, that they
Yeah, dude.
they just don't give a shit. I mean, the big companies, dude, they're slant. I mean, and that's same down here, right? So it really has to do with like where are you located. But you're right about the remodeling, man. I mean, there's, this happened around the pandemic. People want, they're like, oh, I'm home, like, they're
Yeah,
like,
because I
people were
was
still buying homes, but they wanted, their decision was to fucking, people were like, yeah, I'm gonna, start remodeling my house and, hunkering down. And it was like explosive, and meanwhile down here, like I was working, all this work leading into the pandemic. And it's like people are like saying how they didn't have any, they're stuck at home. Meanwhile, down in Florida, they're just like, whatever. Fucking,
and that's the thing is I didn't do the backyard last year because I had to bid it out like this time last year when inflation was like peaking or kind of supposedly coming down. And the
mhm.
guy was like, "Bro, everything's just super out of fucking expensive. You might as well wait a couple months." And I ended up taking his advice, and it was thousands of dollars cheaper. But I wish I would have done it anyways. But whatever. Long story short is, so all the people that wanted to do remodels when the inflation was super high, when like wood was just out of fucking control expensive, like a year and some change ago, are doing it now.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
interesting, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah, because like I remember how much wood was. It was so
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
expensive.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, all that shit
Yeah,
ramped up. And then once lumber started to fall, it was like, yeah,
yeah. I know
hey,
now. Like,
well,
go
yeah,
ahead.
no,
Sorry.
go ahead. You're good.
Yeah. No, but that's one thing that I've been like when freaking I didn't play it, but when Home Depot crashed its earnings, like, yep. But he was right. What he told me like 2 days prior, and I didn't. I just like, well, they probably go up because of what's going on. Because everyone's going to Home Depot. Home Depot slammed all the time too. Like I don't. They can't like everyone in there. Like they can't even keep employees, bro. It's just crazy.
That's yeah, similar down here. It's like, yeah, I don't know. There's just so much. I mean, people are still starving for work, right? Or not work, but starving for people to work, like employees. I mean, it's not granted there's a lot of people that have moved down here that want to work, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this Toll Brothers. From a technical side, I mean, I don't know anything about them fundamentally, but from a technical side, dude, this looks a lot like kind of like what Apple did a couple weeks ago, right? Like there's even a lower support, I would say, right down here. You could say, maybe it dips down to 70. But I could also see this thing being the bounce. So I don't know anything about them fundamentally. So that's take that with a grain of sand. But they're what, tomorrow night, it looks like. Yeah, tomorrow after hours. But I mean, this was the supply, the daily supply, whatever you want to call it. This was the highs. now acting as support. So it's not the first retest technically, because it did get this bit of a retest here, but I mean, obviously it's pretty fucking close. So yeah, I don't know. See what it does tomorrow. Now, I would say that if it looks like it's going to close tomorrow down, underneath the $73 range, then potentially there is more weakness going into earnings. But again, I don't know how earnings would, from a technical side, it's really tough to short this, in my opinion. Just, until it gets below this level. I mean, technically there's daily, your daily support, like your most recent signal is still basically right there at like 73 spot 3, 73.32. Because this did hold it. What was the close? So 73.30 was this close here, which is obviously within 2 cents. What would that be? 2 basis points, I guess. No, two bips. Oh god. Anyways, but yeah, no, I would I don't know about on the short right now. Let's see what tomorrow brings. I'm just responding to Danny here, and I know you can't probably talk, but anyways, all right. So is that good, guys? Let's wrap this up because it's been almost an hour. I'm happy to keep this short. I mean, look, tomorrow, my biggest thing is just going to be, playing those zones in or out. But I do think like tomorrow, well, a couple things. NVIDIA, right? I'll probably play midday or earlier than SPX. I'm thinking of just waiting unless we really start to rip hard. NVIDIA, right? We're pushing up near that expected move. Like that 482.25 is the EM. But I'd really, if we start, especially if we gap up over 75, it's fucking on. Because that's that daily, that's the top of the daily zone. Tesla, in my opinion, has a ways to go. I mean, we smashed through the weekly expected move already. Like that's nuts, right? We're already through the weekly EM. Second EM is fucking 240. It's just plowing along, What's the daily? Let's see what the daily zone is here. Yeah, the next supply really isn't until you get up near 240.
Yeah,
241.
I got those 220 covered calls for September something. It's all good though.
Yeah.
I gotta freaking get rid of all those then. It's all good. I made money off it. I mean, it's still freaking, because I sold them like shit, dude. February or something. We're about the 220s or whatever that time. I can't remember.
Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It was just a lock in. I think the profit is at 258. So if I'm anything below 258, I made money. Or if I sell it now, so it's still good. So whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, I mean, look, dude, you're not right on the position. Like, could you, you can always look back and be like, look, I should have done, I could have performed a little bit better with this. But dude, that was looking like a nasty sell-off going into the weekend. Like,
yeah, I thought we were gonna be
like
90.
right. Like I didn't. The only thing I swung was NVIDIA. Like that's literally, and that's just because I mean they were down already, but they weren't terribly down. And I knew with earnings, like it's a risk I'm willing to take. But yeah, fuck that. It's like what on Twitter, dude. Not that everybody follows every tweet, but Merlin's Capital there. He was joking. I was talking shit to him a little bit because he was like, oh, it's over, blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, but he's like, you're not, there's something about carrying, positions overnight. And I'm like, absolutely, especially the weekend. Like, I'm just not in, I have no interest in it, man. Like, not that you can't make money. Like people who swung long, like that looks great. Probably should have swung long if I had played it more. Yeah, and look, NASDAQ and Microsoft, dude, 100%. It's same with SPX, in my opinion. It's potentially setting up. If we could get, I mean, look, if we could get a even on SPY, let's just go to SPY because this is probably the easiest setup. With SPY here, if we can get a move up over like 241 or 441, 442, right, and then even get a pullback back down to like this 240, 239 level, like that's setting up to be an inverse head and shoulders setup here. And I mean, if we get a move up to the EM here, 446, 447, and then base, that'll be a longer term head and shoulders. Now the concern is that this isn't turned into a head and shoulders, but or I'm sorry, that would be an inverse head and shoulders. But the concern is that this doesn't turn into a regular head and shoulders on the big time frame. But I mean, every pullback looks like this. So my biggest thing here is the weekly. So anybody that might have missed that, I know we're all same people here, but anybody that's listened to the recording, like we closed the weekly, we held the demand, we opened above. As long as that continues to hold, like we'll want to see where this week closes, of course, and that'll include Nvidia and all the other earnings. But I think at that point, we'll have a pretty clear picture. As long as we're over this 437.45, like that's a clear bull signal, in my opinion. So maybe we get a retest again, you know. I do expect a little bit of chop. And of course, we'll see what Jackson Hole comes out and says. When does he speak?
Friday afternoon, I think it's like 3:00.
Yeah, right into the close. So save your pennies for
Maybe.
Well, I know you're not going to be trading, but
No, I am. That's why I got it down. 'Cause that's the only time I'm going to trade for the rest of the week, honestly.
Friday, yeah,
Yeah,
good.
that last hour, like we can make some serious bread, and so that's good enough for me.
We can
But
make some
yeah,
serious cash. Save your pennies.
yeah. So no, but I'm just like, because that's what I want to get into is like trying to because we gotta. That's when we're driving down to go to the day for the waiting, and I'm just like telling her like, listen, I don't care if I'm at like a freaking what is that? That's like a called
Truck
over the
stop.
coffee
No.
shop. Oh no,
Yeah.
they're called. It's that freaking that Starbucks guy, or not the Starbucks guy, the hockey guy. Oh, I forgot what it's called. It's a big thing in Canada. They're dope, dude. It's way better than Starbucks. Never
Oh,
mind.
it's a coffee place. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been to Toronto or Canada in fucking years.
They even have it in a couple, yeah, dude. But they have bomb donuts too, bro. So it's like a Krispy Kremes and Starbucks get together and just like
Yep.
dope.
Oh yeah, listen, I mean, that is one thing up like Western New York, like obviously New York City people have opinions about like food, you know, like there's some really good like local, not even, they're not like mom and pops, but they're like regional fucking franchise type stuff, like private franchises that there's a bagel spot, dude, that was up in Rochester, that phenomenal, dude, you know.
Tim Hortons, dude. Tim Hortons.
Oh, you like Tim Hortons? They're all
Yeah,
over.
dude.
Well,
They're
I
all
don't know if
over
they're
here,
all
bro.
over, but they're
No,
Tim
they're everywhere.
Hortons. No shit, dude. I remember Tim Hortons. They actually have pretty good. They used to have good breakfast sandwiches too.
They
But
got
yeah, no, they
yeah,
have good coffee.
they got good coffee and good donuts, bro. It's bomb.
Yep, yep.
It's like yeah.
Fucking
So
Tim Hortons, the dude from California. If you said Tim Hortons to my family in New York, bro, they would bust out laughing because it's like all over. It's almost like a McDonald's
oh, dude, that guy
in
took over.
fucking in New York. But
Oh yeah.
but I agree, it's way better than like, you know, it's way better than like McDonald's, or it's kind of like Chick-fil-A down here in the South. Like Chick-fil-A, dude, it's a
Oh,
fast
dude.
food place, but it is.
I know they have it back. They have it over here.
Do they? They expanded out west. Yeah, good for them because it's fucking unique. It's phenomenal. Their food is, you know, it's just beyond. Like it is really good. It's kind of.
It
You
is.
guys have a Culver's?
No.
Culver's is down here, man, and they are like it's similar to like Chick-fil-A, except they do burgers and shit, and they have like their custard. Oh god, dude, like you can get like a legit meal and it'll cost you fucking $30 by the time you're done.
Yeah.
That
Dude,
started
that's
up
how
north.
it's. That's Five
Crazy,
Guys,
right?
bro. Five Guys. You take your whole family Five Guys, you better have $125.
I don't even like Five Guys. Fucking awful.
I don't either. I don't either, dude.
Tommy,
$17 for a hamburger.
What'd you say, Tommy? I thought Tommy
Culver started up north.
Yeah, well, it's different though than the Culver's ice cream.
No,
It's-
Culver. Yeah, Culver's. It started in Wisconsin. That was my first job.
Oh, okay.
Working at
Like,
Culver's up here. Yeah,
where they do the fucking
the butter burgers.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
So good,
Butter
dude.
burger makes the burger better, something like that's their phrase. Yep.
Oh, it's ridiculously
that was my
good.
first job. No, yeah, their flavor of the day, ice cream, custard ice
Listen,
cream.
they got their pumpkin. We're coming back into fall, so their
Yep.
pumpkin fucking custard shake thing, whatever they do. I mean, that's a meal, dude. I can just get one and just eat it with a
Yeah,
spoon.
their ice
It's
cream
good.
to go is phenomenal
So
for
good.
sure.
Did you hear
So
about
good.
that place in Eastern Washington, bro? The freaking had some bacteria in there because they didn't clean out their ice cream machine for like a month.
No,
Fucking
that's
killing
fucking
ended up killing 3 people and the other like fucking
What?
food poison. Yeah, dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
I
dude.
swear to
That
God,
shit's
bro, like-
crazy, bro.
Yeah, right. It was some weird fucking thing I never read. And I was just reading about it. I was like, oh my God, dude.
Makes you really want to just jump right in,
Oh
doesn't it?
yeah, I was like, dude, I'm never gonna get a milkshake again, bro.
Yeah. No, you would from Culver's. And probably from Tim Hortons too. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're blizzards, bro. Their blizzards are dope.
Yeah, it's not bad. All right, guys, listen, have a good night. Fucking let's wrap this up. I will, that way the recording might actually get out here soon. But yeah, let's see what tomorrow brings. I'll be around definitely going to be trading. Let's see what the morning brings, because I don't really, I mean, I think the morning will have plays, but I don't really care. So, well, I don't know. It's hard to say, because look, if we do bust up, if we open over this 44.10, 44, 12-ish area, we could see a nice, like, bullish move up, just straight off start the day. But I do think Tesla, I don't know, Tesla looks like it's going to gap up to fucking 238 and open up. So who knows? But we'll play it as we go. Apple, big one I really want to see is Apple hold the zone. I'd love to see it open a little bit higher, like around that 175.80, 176 even. Google, I want to see hold. That faked me out today a little bit. That was annoying. My morning was choppy, dude. Like it wasn't great, right? Like the day ended up being fine, but like the morning I had some really good trades because I went heavy on some things, but then I got nicked, I got like death by 1,000 cuts. So definitely happy to not trade the morning too heavy and then just wait for this like midday and fucking pound the shit out of it. So
Hell yeah, bro.
yeah.
All right, man. You have a good one. You
Yeah,
too,
you too,
Tommy.
guys.
Good talking to you, bro.
Yeah.
See
See
ya.
you guys. Thanks. See ya. If I know how to end the stream.